How did Iran manage to strike US allies in the Middle East? Even after being bombarded by hundreds of Tomahawk cruise missiles and losing most of its air defenses, the answer lies underground. Iran keeps its ballistic missiles hidden deep inside mountain caves, making them incredibly difficult to target. And we can't forget about their homegrown Fatah missiles, which Thrawn claims are capable of hypersonic speeds. Iran reportedly managed to penetrate Israel's Iron Dome and aero missile defense systems using the Fatu missile, which is equipped with a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of reaching speeds between Mach 5 and Mach 20, up to 17,900 kmh, or roughly 10,000 miles per hour. At such extreme speeds, the missile leaves air defense systems like Iron Dome, Arrow, and David's Sling with very little time to detect, track, and engage the threat, making interception efforts exceptionally difficult. This is how it works. The Fatu missile launches with a solid fuel booster that pushes it to hypersonic speeds, reportedly over Mach 15. As it climbs to high altitudes, once it reaches the edge of the atmosphere, the booster separates, and the glide vehicle carrying the warhead begins its independent flight. Re-entering the atmosphere at extreme speed, the glide vehicle uses its aerodynamic design and a small liquid fuel engine to maneuver unpredictably, typically flying between 12 and 30 kilometers above the ground. As it approaches the target, it drops to a lower altitude and performs sharp evasive maneuvers at speeds above Mach 5. This combination of speed, agility, and a shifting flight path makes it incredibly harder for air defenses to track or intercept. What sets the Fatu apart from conventional ballistic missiles is its ability to maneuver during flight. While traditional missiles follow predictable parabolic trajectories, the Fatu breaks from this pattern. It uses aerodynamic control surfaces and a movable nozzle powered by hydrogen fuel to adjust its course while gliding through the atmosphere. This is the reason you see the dragon tail all over Israeli sky. These continuous and unpredictable trajectory changes make the missile extremely difficult to track. Its erratic flight path confuses radar systems and overwhelms targeting algorithms that are designed to handle more conventional stable trajectories. At the core of its propulsion system is a spherical solid fuel engine with a movable nozzle which allows for precise steering and controlled acceleration during re-entry. This gives the missile the agility to dodge interception attempts more effectively. The warhead mounted on a maneuverable re-entry vehicle can further alter its path in the final phase of flight, complicating interception even more and reducing the chances of a successful defense. Iranian officials have claimed that the Fatu also features radar evading capabilities, hinting at possible stealth or low observable technologies. Iran has also asserted that the Fatu Bey has already penetrated Israeli air defenses and struck high V-value targets, including military intelligence facilities and the Israeli Air Defense Headquarters in Tel Aviv. For context, the earlier Fatu missile is a two-stage solid propellant weapon equipped with a maneuverable re-entry vehicle, capable of mid-course adjustments and independent flight. Its warhead includes thrust vector control, allowing it to execute evasive maneuvers during both the mid-course and terminal phases of flight, sometimes as close as 100 kilometers from the target. One of Israel's major disadvantages is its small size. In terms of land area, Israel is roughly 75 times smaller than Iran, making Iran roughly about 7,400% larger. This stark contrast highlights just how compact Israel is. By comparison, because of its limited size, virtually any missile launched toward Israel can reach its target within minutes. This drastically reduces the time available for detection, warning, or debug. Geographically, Israel stretches about 470 kilometers. This is around 290 miles from north to south. But at its narrowest point, it's only around 15 kilometers, which is 9 miles wide, with a maximum width of about 135 kilometers. This is around 4 miles. Because of Iran's larger size, it can hide its stockpiles of missiles all over the place, and this makes it harder for Israel to destroy every missile storage. This is one of the main reasons they managed to hit most of the Middle East neighboring countries, as a retaliatory strike for a massive wave of missiles and drones just targeted US bases in Israel. Here's the fallout. The UAE's Al Dhafar Air Base was hit, leaving 1 dead from shrapnel. In Bahrain, the US Navy's 5th Fleet HQ was directly targeted. Qatar's air defenses successfully wiped out incoming missiles, while Kuwait locked down its entire airspace under heavy fire. Meanwhile, Nationwide sirens are blasting across Israel with massive mid-air interceptions, lighting up the skies over Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. But from an American perspective, we have to ask ourselves, even if every single Iranian ship is wiped out, what kind of damage could they still inflict on our fleet? Well, Iran's strategy isn't to face the US hidden. It is to rely on asymmetric warfare. Take this for example. These two civilian ships are sailing near an aircraft carrier. Everything looks completely normal, but that with the press of a button, a shipping container doors opens up and out comes a missile. These are the self-made Iranian anti-ship missiles, which can still pack a punch. This is instantly followed by a swarm of low-flying drones and fast attack boats from within the cargo ships, and not to forget the small submarines. These submarines can launch torpedoes at the same time. In quick succession, it can pass through the carrier strike group defense system and even achieve 10% impact. They might not sink the carrier, but they can damage it enough to make the waters too dangerous for the US to operate in. So let's look at the 4 key tactics they would likely use. Tactic 1. First, and perhaps most famous, is the swarm. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Court Navy operates hundreds of small, fast attack craft armed with heavy machine guns, rockets, and anti-ship missiles. The tactic here is simple but deadly. Instead of trying to fight a US destroyer 101, which they would lose, they deployed dozens of small boats simultaneously from every direction. The goal is to overwhelm the US ship's defensive systems, like the Fallen, by presenting more targets than the ship can track and destroy at once. Moving to tactic 2, mining the strait. Next, we have the silent killer, mining the Strait of Hormuz. This is the world's most critical oil choke point. Iran maintains an inventory of thousands of naval mines, including smart mines that can listen for the specific acoustic signatures of enemy ships. In a conflict, Iran could use submarines, small boats, or even disguised civilian vessels to drop mines right into the shipping lanes. The goal here isn't just military, it's economic. This would deny the US Navy's safe passage and immediately spike global oil prices, inflicting massive economic pain on the US and its allies. Here comes tactic 3. The kill zone. Third is the geographic advantage. Coastal missile batteries. The Iranian coastline is mountainous and rugged, perfect cover for mobile missile launchers. The regime also employs shoot and scoot tactics using truck-mounted cruise and ballistic missiles. They fire a missile and immediately move to a new hiding spot before the US can strike back. This effectively turns the Gulf into a kill zone, where US ships are under constant threat of fire from land with nowhere to hide. Tactic 4. We have the ambush threat, submarines. The Persian Gulf is actually quite shallow, which makes it difficult for massive US nuclear submarines to operate. However, it is perfect for Iran's fleet of diesel, electric mini-subs, like the GD class. These small subs can sit silently on the seafloor waiting for a target to pass overhead before firing torpedoes. It is a surprise ambush. Tactic. Designed to damage high-value assets like carriers or destroyers while remaining almost impossible to detect by sonar. These small but stealthy diesel-electric submarines designed for operations in the shallow waters of the Persian Gulf pose a significant threat to US aircraft carriers. The Ghadar-class submarines, which are difficult to detect due to their small size and low acoustic signature, could position themselves in strategic locations, near key naval choke points such as the Strait of Hormuz, equipped with heavyweight torpedoes and capable of deploying naval mines. These submarines could launch surprise attacks on US aircraft carriers. By waiting in ambush near expected carrier movements, Yaterdou-class submarines could fire a coordinated torpedo strike, targeting the hull and propulsion systems of US carriers. A successful torpedo strike on an aircraft carrier could disable its flight deck operations, significantly reducing the US Navy's ability to project air power in the region. Aditya-Naji, these submarines could lay underwater mines and critical sea lanes, forcing US warships into predetermined ambush zones where Iranian missile and drone attacks could follow up. Tactic 5. We can't ignore the aerial threat. This is drone warfare. Iran has invested heavily in becoming a drone superpower in the Middle East. In a conflict, they would use UAVs, not just for surveillance, but as loitering munitions, essentially suicide drones. The tactic is to launch them in massive waves to crash into the sensitive radar dishes and flight decks of US ships. The goal is to blind the fleet sensors and halt flight operations, leaving the ships vulnerable to missile attacks. Let's look at Tactic 6. The US fleet relies on ports in Bahrain and air cover from bases in Qatar to sustain the fight. Iran possesses the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East. Their strategy includes massive missile barrages targeting these static headquarters and logistical hubs. The goal isn't just to destroy buildings, but to deny the US Navy the fuel, ammo, and command support it needs to stay in the fight. If the ships have nowhere to dock, they can't stay in the Gulf. Iran's military strategy for targeting US air bases in the Middle East would likely rely on a coordinated multi-domain approach by combining its missile arsenal, drone capabilities, and proxy forces. Iran aims to overwhelm American defenses and inflict significant damage. Among the high-value targets, Iran would likely prioritize Al Aludad Air Base in Qatar, naval support activity, NS at Bahrain, multiple US military bases in Iraq, and Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. This approach reflects Tehran's broader strategic objectives, deterring US military intervention, retaliating decisively in the event of conflict, and asserting its influence across the region. One of the most probable targets in a direct confrontation is Al Udad Air Base in Qatar. As the largest US military installation in the Middle East, it hosts around 8,000 American troops and serves as the regional headquarters for US Central Command. The base plays a crucial role in supporting air operations across the region and is a central pillar of the US military presence in the Gulf. To strike Al Udad and similar bases, Iran could deploy ballistic missiles such as the Fidua, which has a range of about 300 kilometers, or the QM-1 capable of reaching up to 800 kilometers. If it uses a proximity fuse, it may detonate just above the surface, airburst to maximize fragmentation and increase the affected area. Complete destruction of unarmored structures and lethal to unprotected personnel. Extreme overpressure, possibly 100 to 300 psi in this zone, will destroy hardened aircraft shelters, fuel tanks, and command posts if directly hit. Depending on where these missiles are launched from, they pose a credible threat to key US installations across the Gulf. In Bahrain, the Naval Support Activity NASDA base serves as the headquarters of the US Naval Forces Central Command and the US Fifth Fleet, with more than 9,000 American personnel stationed there. It is the only permanent US naval shore base in the Middle East. Its port facilities are capable of accommodating aircraft carriers and amphibious ships, making it a vital maritime hub. Given NSA Bahrain's role, Iran may also target US warships in port or operating in nearby waters. It possesses a highly developed arsenal of anti-ship cruise missiles launched from coastal batteries or naval platforms which can threaten US naval superiority in the Persian Gulf. Iran may also exploit proxy forces, incline militias in Iraq to launch indirect attacks or stir instability within Bahrain itself. In Kuwait, the US maintains a strong presence at Camp Riffian and Ali al-Salem Air Base, which together hosts around 13,500 troops as of 2021. These facilities act as key operational and logistical hubs, particularly for US missions in Iraq and the broader Gulf region. They also use the Soviet-era anti-ship missiles with solid booster and liquid fuel attached to it, produced during the Cold War, is employed for the attacking mission. When launched, the first stage booster fires off for 2 to 3 seconds, after which the second stage takes off. It searches for a target using analog radar. When locked and ready, it can destroy a ship using a hollow-shaped charged warhead. This has the potential to either destroy or sink a cargo ship if it hits at the right angle. Scenario 2. This involves the use of a Soviet-era missile that was re-engineered by the Iranians, converting it into an anti-ship missile. The converted S-8 missile can be launched from within 45 kilometers or 28 miles from the target. Take, for example, the US destroyers sailing through the Red Sea. When fired, these anti-ship missiles can travel at a speed of Mach 3.5. These actions create a psychological impact and disrupt trade routes. Speaking of Iraq, several US military bases are located relatively close to Iran's western border. Their proximity places them well within range of Iranian missile strikes, adding to the strategic and tactical complexity of the region's security landscape. Iran's missile forces are dispersed across hardened underground bases and mobile launchers, which enhance their survivability and make rapid surprise strikes more feasible. These launch platforms are designed to withstand preemptive attacks and deliver quick retaliatory blows. In terms of targeting, Iran would likely aim to paralyze air operations by striking runways, fuel storage facilities, aircraft shelters, command centers, and logistics nodes. The objective would be to degrade U.S. combat capability quickly and limit its ability to respond effectively. We make original videos animated by humans from scratch.